Hey guys, it's Linux Next here. In today's video, we are going to be looking at KDE Plasma 6.3. It has released today with an announcement page that they did on the KDE website, and we're going to be looking at what is new with this release, what have they fixed, what issues do I have on this release or the beta version that I'm running currently, and many more, just refining, I would say, overall with the desktop environment. Now, I think the most important thing to point out is the issues that I have on this beta version of 6.3. And the first issue that I've had, and it's really the only issue I've had on this desktop environment on the beta 2 version of 6.3, is about Discover can crash if you spam around the store fast enough. And I was able to trigger it just before. So if we do click around here like extremely fast basically, and we just like spam things fast enough, it will basically crash at some point, like right now, as you can see. So it said Discover closed unexpectedly, and I have already reported this bug last week, I think it was, when I was trying 6.3 beta 2, and hopefully this does get fixed when 6.3 rolls around. If it doesn't, then it's going to be in 6.3.1. Now, one of the first new features with Plasma 6.3 is about digital artists. And it's most important about revamping again the drawing tablet. So in 6.2, they made some rather big changes with the drawing tablet section, I would say. They added some new options available, some more just GUI options in it. And now they've decided to change it even more and add more functionality to it. So if we do have a read through here, it says, we want to make Plasma the best platform for creativity. And Plasma 6.3 takes the next step in that direction by providing features that help artists optimize and customize their graphics tablets to their liking. The system settings drawing tablet page has been overhauled and split into multiple tabs to improve how things are organized, and new configuration options have been added to each section. You can map an area of a drawing tablet service to the entire screen area. We have refined the tablet calibration feature so that it produces more accurate calibrations. The stylus testing feature shows information about tilt and pressure. You can customize the pressure curve and range of a stylus to chop off the high and or low parts. You can also remap or swap the functions of the stylus buttons. So if you do look at this right now, as we can see, we are in the drawing tablet section and we are using a XP Pen drawing tablet. I think it's a, if you look at what it says, I think it's like a Deco V2, I think it is. Yes, it's a Deco V2 drawing tablet from XP Pen, and it does get detected in KDE Plasma. And as we can see, there is many new things. First of all, these have been split into multiple tabs, as it said, and you still got the same options where you can like map the screen to follow the current screen, all screens, or a particular monitor. You can do the map area, and it shows a nice little like presentation of what it looks like. So this is the drawing tablet, and this is the display. And we can do like stretch to fill. You can see it changes the image here, so you can see what you are necessarily looking at. And you can like stretch this, I think. Yes, you can. So if you do hold this down, you can resize the screen area, which I think is really freaking cool. And you can lock the aspect ratio. And then if we do go into the pen section, we do have the new pen pressure that is being shown. And as you can see here, I did fiddle around with it a little bit with the pressure range, so you can change it from the lows and highs, so that, you know, if you don't want the pressure to be on a super low option, you want it to be at like, I don't know, 13%, and you want the high pressure to be not that high, then you can lower that if you want to. And there is a calibration option, which I was not able to do because I'm guessing my drawing tablet just simply doesn't support that. And they moved the pad to its own UI where you can customize the buttons on the drawing tablet. Either it be application defined, send a keyboard key, send a mouse button click, or just simply do nothing. So really awesome that they've been improving drawing tablet support when it comes to, you know, customizing it without needing to have an extra GUI or something. You can just do it simply in the KDE Plasma settings. And one of the other new little features that did get added is with the Plasma widgets. As you can see, they're a bit frosty, like a glass effect. A little bit just blurry behind it. That's the feature that got added into the widgets. It just makes it look a little bit more nicer, as I know a lot of people like that frosted glass effect with things like widgets, for example, instead of them just being like matte. It's now just got a bit of blur behind it. As you can see with like the USB one, you can see behind my wallpaper. Looks pretty nice, I would say. Just makes it look a little bit more just cleaner to look at. And as we can see, one of the new things that got added with every single major release of Plasma, there is a new wallpaper. And I do like this wallpaper. It's very, you could say, kind of abstract. I don't know the word to use with this. It's kind of not edgy necessarily. I'm just saying because it's got like lots of edges on it, but it's also smooth with the edges. So nice. It's a very nice wallpaper, I would say. Of course, I won't be using this wallpaper. I will be using probably something like this. I personally do like this wallpaper. I don't know where this character is from, but it's very nice artwork. But the 6.3 wallpaper, it is very nice. You know, a really good feature that has arrived in 6.3 is about the improvement of scaling. So it says here, graphics. The most important news regarding graphics is a huge overhaul of how fractional scaling works. In Plasma 6.3, KWin makes a stronger effort to snap things to the screen's pixel grid, greatly reducing blurriness and visual gaps everywhere and producing sharper and crisper images. This works at very high zoom levels as well, as KWin's zoom effect switches to a sharp pixel perfect representation and overlays a grid on top of the screen. You can actually see how individual pixels look relative to other ones, very useful for artists and designers. So you can see there is an image here of the KWin zoom effect, and it has like a whole grid over it. And that's supposed to make it really good when it comes to something like if you're an artist or a designer and you want to look into something really close. It could be really good for that. But the one most important one is the fractional scaling. So if you do have a 1440p 4K monitor, you'll get a better experience with fractional scaling now. Things will snap things relatively better with fractional scaling, and of course they will look a lot more sharper and just less blurry overall. And it does say here, in the color department, screen colors are more accurate when using the nightlight feature, both with and without ICC profiles. So that was a really good thing. So if you are using ICC profiles or not, and I'm pretty sure if you're using HDR also, the nightlight feature will work a lot better. And then the other one is a new option with color accuracy. So you can tell KWin what accuracy you want to use for what monitor. So like, let's say we're using our BenQ, our main monitor here, we can change the color accuracy now in this setting to prefer efficiency or to prefer color accuracy. And I did hear from the comments that it does switch to some sRGB or the other one that's used for color. So it's able to just produce a more better color, and that means it's better for designers or any type of drawing artist who's making some type of artwork in Krita or making something in GIMP. Colors are just going to be a lot more accurate if you want it to be, and if not, you can just leave it on prefer efficiency and you're all good. Now when it comes to hardware monitoring, the system monitor CPU usage is more accurate and consumes vastly fewer CPU resources while doing it. If you're using Plasma 6.3 on FreeBSD, you're in luck. The System Monitor app and widget can now collect GPU statistics on your system too. Now there is one thing that I would like to see in hardware monitoring, and that is GPU usage, because for me on an AMD GPU, I can't see my GPU usage on System Monitor for some reason. It only shows CPU usage, and I know there is plugins for it, but those plugins don't really work the last time I tried it. So maybe if I try it now, it may work, but I have very low hopes that those plugins will actually work. So one suggestion that I have in this video is to please bring a GPU usage, as I have been using other different system monitor applications like Mission Center, for example. As you can see, we can look at the GPU usage of my AMD card and we can see if like video encode is working, which it is working right now because we're encoding it in OBS Studio. So if KDE was able to add this natively without a plugin that you have to go grab, that would be really cool. And to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure Nvidia has like better support with the system monitor, which is quite not odd necessarily. It's just like Nvidia supports it, but not AMD. So I would like to see KDE implement that in the future if they're able to. Some other things is like the Info Center also provides more information, exposing data about all of your GPUs as well as your battery cycle count. So that's really cool. You get to know how many charges you've been doing on your laptop battery, for example. That's really good to see, and that it just exposes more information so you get to know more about your computer. Monitoring printers is equally easy, as each printer's print queue is shown directly in the widget. The widget also shows a little spinner on any printers that are currently printing, so you can see at a glance which one are in use. So that's really cool. Also, you'll be able to see which printers are currently working by just a little spinner icon. That's a really nice addition. And it says here, Plasma already includes a variety of background services that let you know when something has gone wrong and what to do about it. New in Plasma 6.3 is a service that detects when the kernel terminated an app because the system ran out of memory. The service shows a notification explaining what happened and suggests ways of avoiding this issue in the future. So that's really cool. Also, you get to be told, hey, kernel closed this application because you're running out of memory. That's the reason why the kernel decided to terminate that application. Really nice. And it just makes it way easier when it comes to a new user that is trying to use Linux and like, why the hell did my application just closed suddenly? It'd be like, oh, okay, because you ran out of memory. And when it comes to the tools of what's been improved, we can look at, moving on to specific tools, Plasma 6.3's KRUNNER, the built-in search tool that also does conversations, calculations, definitions, graph plotting, and much more, discovers Plasma software management / app store application and the weather report widget all come with new features and improvements. So with KRUNNER and the KRUNNER powered searches now let you jump between categories using the page up, page down keys and control up, control down key combinations. And with Discover, there has been some nice additions to it, like a security enhancement landing in Discover Highlights sandbox for apps whose permissions will change after being updated. This allows you to check on such changes in case you suspect any shady behavior. So if you're installing some Flatpak or Snap application, I presume also, you should be able to see those highlights of like what permissions are being changed, and you can go, well, why is this app changing this permission to access my, I don't know, my camera for some reason when it doesn't need access to my camera? Well, then you'll be able to see that and you'll be able to go, well, okay, I'm going to block that permission and flat seal, or I'm just going to uninstall the application because that's shady behavior. In a similar vein, you can now see whether apps are packaged directly by the developer or verified by a trusted third party, which we can't see in Discover. If we go to any application like GIMP, for example, we can see it's the GIMP team and it has a tick next to it, meaning it's a verified application made by the actual GIMP developers themselves. Same with something like Telegram, that's also verified by the Telegram team. So it's a trusted application that you can install. Probably the same with Firefox. As you can see, there is a tick because it is developed by Mozilla. And when it comes to the weather widget, this has gotten some improvements like in Plasma 6.2. If you're a fan of the forecast provided by the, oh my god, Deutsche Wetterdienst, I probably butchered that, you're in luck. Plasma 6.3's weather widget allows using this source for weather data. So that's really cool. If you're into the weather widget, you get more forecasts provided with this weather provider. Really cool. Now, one feature that some people have been asking for and actually was originally in Plasma, I think it was in Plasma 5, and it got removed when it came to Plasma 6, I'm pretty sure. And that was about, if you prefer using a mouse with your laptop, you can now configure its built-in touchpad to switch off automatically, so it doesn't interfere with your typing. Also, if you set up your machine as a network hotspot, Plasma generates a random password for the network so you don't have to think one up. So both of those things are really good. But I was talking about the touchpad. You can now switch off the touchpad because I remember it was a feature in Plasma and then it got removed, and now it's being added back. So really cool that you can, switch off your touchpad now. Really cool. And when it comes to the Plasma application launcher, this also did get some nice changes, I would say. And if we do look at it right now, we can see it looks pretty normal, right? But the first one, if you notice, when you use Plasma normally from Plasma 6.2, when you hover your mouse over these categories, it switches to this category straight away without you needing to click on the category. Now that has been changed. So now you have to click onto it, but you can't change it. I'm pretty sure if you do go to settings here, yes, you can see here, switch sidebar categories when hovering over them. So we hit apply, and look at now, as you can see, it's switching. So I actually like the new behavior as I get to decide where I want to go instead of just hovering over it and going like, I understand that like it's really fast to go through it and that's pretty cool, but I would like to have it this way, which I prefer it this way, I would say. And then the other one is that there is a help category now, so you can separate your applications more into a different category where a user can find info about their computer, or the Qt assistant as well, like documentation in Qt is in the help category. And many other applications, like it says here, like the welcome center is in the help category also. And then another one that got changed is that they also have made system one category now. before there was a system and then there was another category that was like settings, I think it was, or something else. There was two categories that didn't really need to be two categories. So now there's just one category for system. So that's really cool. So as it says here, finding help is easier in Plasma 6.3. A help category has been added to the launcher, and we have removed the settings category entirely. Its contents have been merged into the system category, reducing the number of categories that don't offer meaningful grouping. So there you go. That's the explanation. And I was correct. I just guessed as that's what I just remembered, and that is correct. So that's really cool. I would say that is a good change because that does make sense. There doesn't need to be a settings and a system. There can just be system because settings is usually system. So good change, I would say. And another new feature is about we have made things clearer by adding a show target item to the desktop context menu for symbolic links. So if you have any shortcuts, like I have two games up here and we go show target, it opens it into the .local/share/applications where the shortcuts get made, which is in .local/share/applications. So that's really cool that they have decided to add that. That makes it a lot easier to find these symbolic links or whatever symbolic link you've created on the desktop. That's really cool to see. And some other things is like the digital clock widget displays all events on days with more than 5 of them, giving you you have a complete view of upcoming commitments. And when you want to reboot into the bootloader menu, the next time your machine reboots, the logout screen now indicates this. So that's really cool also. Some other little changes is like to avoid overwhelming you with too much information when notifications arrive while Plasma's Do Not Disturb mode is engaged. Exiting that mode shows the number of missed notifications rather than sending them all in one giant torrent, which is true. I remember when I used to use Do Not Disturb and I turned it off and all the notifications would literally just spam you on the right side. So that's really good that it doesn't do that anymore and it just shows a number of missed notifications. Additionally, a subtle but important change, when you drag a file out of a window that's partially below other windows, it no longer jumps to the top, potentially obscuring what you wanted to drag it into. So that's a good change also, even though it's a subtle change. It is an important change. That's a really good change, I would say. Now, one amazing new feature that I have been not really asking directly for KDE developers to do, but in my mind, I was like, why can't I make my panel on my main monitor the same panel automatically on my other monitors? Because on Plasma 6.2 and below, you had to create manual panels for each monitor and then basically try and copy manually the shortcuts and things you have pinned and the applets that are on the panel, but usually you just do default panel and then just add the shortcuts. But now you can actually clone a panel. So as you can see here, clone panel. And if we clone this panel on our main monitor, we can clone it to the top.
Oh, look at that! Insane!
Really good that this is finally here because I don't like having to install a new distro and I have to set up manual panels. It's just super quick and easy to do now. You just clone, and it's awesome. Love it. Amazing feature. It's simple feature. But it probably did take a bit of work to actually figure out how to do this with like code wise. So really good that they've finally added this feature. Some other things is like in Plasma 6.2, we introduced the symbolic icons in the kickoffs category sidebar, which is over here, as you can see. Some people didn't like that. So in 6.3, you can undo the change yourself. We modified that implementation to pull icons from the standard data source, allowing you to set them to whatever you want using the menu editor app, which the menu editor app also got a big change, as you can see down below here, which I'll talk about real soon, which is right now. So if we do edit an application, let's say bottles, for example, we want to edit this application. Well, it opens up in this new menu editor, which I would say is way better than the one before. The one before was very simple. It basically was just this window, but now it has so many different options you can do, and it shows all of your applications here, so you can easily select them if you want to change them. So like Counter-Strike 2, there we go, we can change that. We can go to like education, even though we probably don't have, okay, we have LibreOffice, we can change that also. We can add different environment variables to the application. So if you want to like, I don't know, force Wayland on a application that's running on an X-Wayland for some reason, you can do that rather easily now with this menu editor. I would say great improvement with the menu editor. Honestly, amazing. Good job. And probably the last thing that I would like to talk about is my suggestions with the Plasma desktop. There's one thing that has bugged me a little bit, and that is about wallpapers. When you go to change your wallpaper on the desktop, so let's say we right click on the desktop and we go desktop in a wallpaper, it brings it to this desktop folder settings application where we can change the wallpaper. But in Plasma 6, I think it was, they decided to add their own wallpaper category where you can pick like which monitor you want the wallpaper to change on. Do you want the wallpaper to apply to all the wallpapers? And then it has the, we can add different wallpapers and you can get new wallpapers and do all the same things as you can do in the other one, which just confuses me, I would say. And I feel like this may confuse the user. And I find this setting just pointless to have. Personally, I think the wallpaper should just open up in the settings wallpaper category instead of opening up in this. That is my suggestion because I just don't really see the point in that, and you get more functionality out of this one. It's a good change, I would say, bringing it to just opening this, in my opinion. That's my one suggestion. The other one is about GPU with system monitor to try and bring GPU usage, which I already mentioned. One of the new features in Plasma 6.3, that would be something I would like to see is GPU usage in the KDE system monitor, as I use the mission center instead, or something like resource monitors. That's another one to show GPU usage. So if you guys could add support for that in system monitor, that would be really good. Other than that, Plasma 6.3 really just refines the experience with the desktop environment. It brings better graphics, tablet support. It brings better color accuracy on your monitors if you want to. It just creates its own little KDE menu editor application now. It's better. It's bigger also. It has way more options to change things, more easier. Little behavior changes that overall just make the desktop, like I said, just refinement, just improving it a little bit and then fixing a lot more bugs when it comes to the desktop, which, as I said, I have not experienced many issues with Plasma 6.3. I've only experienced that discover crash where you can just spam it. But if you don't spam it and you just slowly go through it, it works perfectly fine. So hopefully that does get fixed, because I would like it to get fixed. Can quickly go through the Discover store and it doesn't crash randomly when either clicking around really fast or even like installing an application. I remember it crashed also. So that's really it, I would say, with Plasma 6.3. If you guys did enjoy this video, I would definitely give it a like, definitely subscribe to the channel, and thank you to my supporters also. I'll show a screenshot of you now. Thank you for giving me money every single month, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.